It's not that noise either. We've got that.
Sorry. There is some drilling work going on in the building. Hello, and once again, welcome to 1-2 with myself and Matt here. Unfortunately, it's obviously an international break this weekend, which means we've got fuck all Premier League to talk about. But we're gonna take what's on offer to us, which is England once again stealing the show at Wembley with a brilliant 0-0 draw. Now, we had a video last week, or Matt did, I believe, where we talked about England's chances to win the World Cup, and we've had a couple of lovely comments, so thanks a lot for those. And Matt is going to start by reading us out the very first one.
Yeah, we've got the first one from Pawan Ariel, who says, I don't think England will win the World Cup. The last 8 should be achieved. Favourites including Germany, Brazil, Spain, France. I think Brazil might win it this time because they seem to be a team to beat. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Last 8 should be achieved. Is probably, I think, about as high as England can aim.
True.
Between now and when the World Cup actually starts, the discussion is going to go from being that this rational point of the last 8 is as good as we can get to once again we're running away with our own expectations and waving the flag and driving around with those little flags that hang around the back seat of the car. And people are going to lose it and start saying that we can win again.
This is what will happen. We'll play a crap team. This always happens. I remember the 2010 World Cup, I think it was. We beat Jamaica 6-1 in a warm-up game. Crouch scored a hat-trick and everyone was losing their shit saying we're going to win.
So we're going to experience that spike in expectations again. But between now and then, I think we'll do well to bear Pawan's comment in mind when we get a bit closer to the World Cup.
We'll revisit that one.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
It's not that noise either. We've got that.
Sorry. There is some drilling work going on in the building. Belgium also going to be at the World Cup this year. Plenty of people expecting big things from them. Decent squad, could do very well. Lukaku has now equalled Belgium's all-time goal scoring record. Thanked in a tweet the real fans out there for their words of encouragement. Now, obviously, that's a little bit of a dig at the United fans. He hasn't scored in 7 games for United. Is he worthy of the criticism, or should people really be getting off his back?
Well, I mean, I think he has to get off that Jose Mourinho bus in order to score. He has to get into the opposition half. With that kind of football, I don't really think he's being supplied much service. I don't know why they were playing so well at the beginning. I know they've just reverted to being absolute shit.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of games, weren't they, when Mourinho was kind of really didn't want to lose.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And he was more worried about not losing than he was about winning. Maybe Liverpool was one of them, or I'm not
yeah,
sure
it
how
was.
many
It
games.
started with that Liverpool one,
Yeah.
then went on to the Spurs one, which they won, but it was a very poor game.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they come across these teams where they don't want to lose ground on their rivals. That's the point.
Yeah.
He kind of picks and chooses his wins and his draws and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I just don't think he's that kind of involved in the United's play.
Lukaku.
Yeah, because he just doesn't really get the opportunities. But he does it for Belgium, and he's followed them to the World Cup. So
Yeah, true. Fair play. Keep it up, Romelu.
And they did that with Fellaini in the squad as well. So well done to Belgium. Because he can't obviously do it for United.
Staying in Manchester, we've had another comment on a video from last week from Mr. Oswald Poundington. Real name.
The third.
Who says, December should be the confirming month if City's title winning status is a given or not. But yeah, they're playing some dominating and exciting football at the moment. Now, December, we've seen, is big month.
Yeah.
They've got to play Tottenham. Got to play Man United. Yeah, Tottenham's obviously going to be a tough one. Harry Kane team or somebody else.
Harry Kane team, yeah.
Yeah, so Tottenham and United for City in December. Will they be confirmed as champions if they stay on top come the years?
I guess so, because December's always the kind of turning point. And of all those games over Christmas and New Year's, whatever, if you come out of that strongly and you kind of head into the New Year's still with an 8-point gap, in that 8 points now. Yeah. 8 points now. Imagine where the quick few victories in a few days could do, and they could be 10 points clear or something. Yeah. I think that the thing is with City, from when the Champions League ends at the beginning of December to when it comes back at the end of February, that is their time to go ahead and really push on. I mean, they'll have one FA Cup fixture in between then, beginning of January, and potentially 2 semi-finals and a final in the League Cup. But apart from that, that's the time to make their mark, because as we said, you know, they're challenging on all 4 fronts come March and April.
Yeah.
They're going to have a hell of a lot of games.
Yeah.
That's when injuries and stuff like that can come into play.
I think that's what somebody else was saying, that Guardiola's teams had suffered in other places because he works his players too hard. So
exactly.
He needs his squad to...
I think we actually had that comment.
Yeah,
from Akash Gupta, who said, I just hope that the fatigue and the hope from the fans and club doesn't get to them in terms of injuries. And I do think they need a good pacey winger to support Sterling and Sane. He's then gone on for some transfer news about selling Yaya Toure and bringing in Milinkovic, Savic, Goretzka or Cyprian. Now, Goretzka, interesting one, whose contract's actually expiring.
Yeah.
Schalke at the end of the season, as with Emre Can at Liverpool. Can talk to clubs from January.
Okay.
So can officially go out by himself. Yeah, he's rubbing his hands.
Goretzka's agent is going to be rubbing his hands, licking his lips.
Yeah.
The talk about Goretzka, the clubs that he's been linked with, mate.
I mean, he'll want to play though. He'll want to play for those 6 months before the World Cup. But then after that, I mean, there's Barcelona, United, Liverpool, City. Everyone sort of. Yeah. It seems them and Chan. If you can't get Goretzka, you get the poor version in Chan. That seems to be the way.
Schalke do at the end of the season as well, mate. Because at the moment, Schalke in the Champions League places in the Bundesliga, or they haven't been for quite a while. Do you know what I mean? Goretzka can go wherever he wants, but let's also see after the World Cup. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of free transfers, you're going to have Chan, Goretzka, potentially Sanchez and Ozil talking to clubs in January. So, could be a rather exciting one.
Yeah. Cool. We're done for another week. If you've got any questions for us for next week's episode, then do comment them below. Use the hashtag #12 at the end, and we'll try and get around to them. Keep the comments coming in. Obviously, that's what we need for our show. And remember to subscribe, and we'll see you next week.